Welcome back to another great episode of Long Ash Podcast. I saw the clip of Andy. Andy looked like he was having a nice time.
Yeah, he was really good. We had some good conversation. I feel like he peeled back the curtain a little bit of like what he does, um, kind of what his journey was really interesting. I didn't know that he he was like district managers at stores for such a long time, but still within the industry. He went on tours like Rocky Patel, I guess, tours like you guys did for
Yeah.
Camacho back in March. Um, but he was good. He was good.
He looks like he's our age. So when he told me, he's like, "Oh, I did a Rocky Patel tour to Honduras back in like 2004." I'm like, 2004? I was a freshman. What were you doing in Honduras in 2004? But Andy's eternal.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been around the industry since then, and it was good. He felt like he was nervous, and I think we had really good chemistry, and I think he was really articulate with the things he was saying.
Are you saying he's
So
better than me now? You rather,
no,
rather have him up here?
no,
Want me to go get him?
no. I think I would love to see you two on a podcast because I feel like you guys are
Oh,
extremely
you guys are the big buddies now.
no.
Make a whole thing. Chip and
I
Dale
think
over here.
You guys are extremely both very like you guys have a lot of time in the industry and knowledgeable and
Saying we're old?
okay. I'm not winning. I'm not winning. But no, it was good. It was a good episode. How was Florida?
It's Florida.
Yeah.
That's about it. So today we are smoking the Las Calaveras Decimo Aniversario, which I said with a little Italian accent, but I'm pretty sure is Spanish. And it's the Las Calaveras, the 10th anniversary of this cigar. Really quick, the blend is, I believe, Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper over Nicaraguan filler and binder. Now, first of all, this thing is just a couple inches in, exceptional. Smooth, tiny bit of spice on the tongue, but it's drawn real well. The flavor is very nice, not too crazy, not too impactful. Very, very good. And I mean, listen, it's hard when you're a company like Crown Heads, who obviously has top-notch cigars every time, but John puts a lot of thought and effort into the creative and the branding, which is important. So when you already put a lot of effort and really do very intricate designs and nice designs, it's tough to, when you're doing something that's special, it's like he puts a lot of time and thought into like his cigars that cost $9. So when you're doing one that costs $18, how do you really make it stand out? Well, it's little touches, and I'm seeing that with this band. It's got a nice little glow up, like the black where the skull is a nice matte finish. So you got the shiny gold and then a matte black, so it looks like a UV spot. I'm all about this now that I'm.
This is definitely
now that I'm ordering bands all the time.
Yes.
I know all these terms. But the band really is impressive. I love the design. I love the colors. I think I don't know if there's a meaning to these colors or if it's like, are these all the colors of Las Calaveras that he's had? I don't know, because I know he's had a lot of different colors of them. But
this is a different style box too from when from what it usually comes in. And
usually comes in a regular.
Is there purple in there? Yeah. Is there yellow?
Purple, orange, blue. Is that like a pink or?
It might be all the colors, like you said, the bands of.
Yeah, it might be like a magenta or something. This is a really important line. I mean, I think in terms of popularity and kind of awareness of it, it's up there with Monster Series in terms of like, how many other seasonal releases do you know that these companies come out with? I mean, you're getting a few more now, like Elegancia and Generoso from Ferriotego, but really, you know you're going to get a Monster, and you know you're going to get a Las Calaveras, and you know it's going to be different every year. They might go back to a similar blend, but it's going to be a very different cigar.
Yeah.
Las Calaveras has been a very, very good cigar each and every year. There are a couple ones that really stand out to me. I know the first two are things of legend at this point. Those two, if you can find them, good luck. last year's was also very, very good. I can't remember the blend on last year's, but I remember I think I made a top 25 last year. Last year's was very, very, very good. This might be one of the best cigars I've had out of my father's factory in a while. And I'm only a few puffs in. This is excellent. Like I said, great combination of richness, but not too rich, like a heavy Maduro. A little early spice, but that settled in really quick. Yeah.
Can you believe the 10th anniversary is already here? Like, do you remember, obviously, when the first
I
one
remember
came
being
out?
in the store. I worked in the store because it must have come out
2014.
Yeah, that summer, I guess, because I started working in corporate in October. So it must have been that summer. And I remember seeing it, and someone's like, oh, that's the new Crown Heads. I'm like, oh, cool. Who makes this one for him? And someone's like, oh, my father makes it. And I think that was the first collaboration they did together. And I was like, oh. And I bought a bunch, and I wish I fucking saved some. But because they're gone now.
Yeah.
Like, those are worth some money now. I mean, even John can't even find 2014s and 2015s. Like, he has to have people like send them.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe he has like a box or two sitting somewhere. But no, it was a game changer for me for Crown Heads because, you know, it was tough for me to really keep up with boutiques at that time because we had just really started carrying them. Like, at least in our store, me and Anthony were like big proponents of like, we got to put this stuff, we got to order this stuff, we got to put it out on the shelves. And at that time, I want to say, I can't even remember. I want to say we probably had 4 kicks, maybe. I don't think we had Jericho Hill yet. Maybe we did, but I definitely know we had 4 kicks, and I think we had. Now I'm blanking on the name. It was the one that was named after Jesse James. It was like the initials. I can't think of it. I'm a little in a fog today.
Did you say JD?
Well, J.D. Howard.
J.D. Howard?
The J.D. Howard. That was it. I think maybe we had those 2, and I maybe had tried them, but like I was in the store. We had gotten Davidoff in that year. I was in charge of like our entire Davidoff inventory. But I remember smoking that first Las Calaveras and it being a very big turning point for me of this is a company that I need to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting very heavily into them. I did, I keep blanking on the names today. The one that we have, the Black Dog version of it, the studio. Headley Grange. Thank you for your help.
No, you're fine.
There's so many fucking numbers and names in my mind these days that like I can't remember any of these things. Jericho Hill was obviously a big one that became like an everyday smoke for me. And then every year I was looking forward to these every year. And then when I became close with John, probably 2018, 2019, is really when I started to understand his point of view, where each of these blends is coming from, what he wanted to accomplish from a blending standpoint, from a creative standpoint, from a portfolio standpoint, and my appreciation grew even more so. They're one of my favorite companies out there. He's one of my favorite guys. He's a genius. I think he's one of the minds of our generation of cigars. And to be honest, I'm really, really happy that this doesn't stink, and I have to be like, oh, it was good. This is not that he ever does anything that stinks, but 10th anniversary Las Calaveras, you need to come heavy. You need to come swinging, and he absolutely did. So I want you to talk now so I can smoke this.
No, you're fine. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the size it comes in. I don't know if this is the same, if it's like the same size every year. But I don't know. This
is one of the sizes that he does release, I believe, in regular Las Calaveras.
Okay.
But I think the 10th anniversary, correct me if I'm wrong, it might only be in this size. I have to see if it came in different sizes. I got it because I have it I have the half wheel thing open.
But I feel like I've been very fortunate to enjoy some of the Las Calaveras since I've been here. I think the one I always gravitate towards too is the one, I guess, during COVID with the purple and gold. Because of his backstory about it with like Kobe. But that was a really good one. And then I think is the 2021 the yellow band, I believe, or is it 2020?
What is the red? That's the trouble. I'm
trying to think. Because last year was blue. light blue.
Last year was light blue, and then
I think that was red, and then yellow was after.
I mean, I can just look it up.
Yeah, but I think
Half-Wheel does. This is the other great thing for Half-Wheel. They do like have a chronicle.
Yes,
Like, they'll just have a picture of like all of them.
But I've been very fortunate to smoke a lot of like enjoy a lot of. I guess I feel like the Las Calaveras set where he was really like, I don't want to say stepping his game up, but they were just really, really good. But I'm really enjoying this size right now.
So if this is to be believed, this year, which is 2024, was like a pink with a black like main part of the band and like a reddish pink sides. I can't really tell. Last year was yellow, so that'd be 23. 22 was blue, like that light baby blue.
Yeah,
21 was yellow, like the regular yellow.
Yeah.
20 was the purple. 19 was the red. 18 was the green. 17 was the black. 16, 15, and 14 were white, but the original 14s had a little bit of red in them too. Yeah, they were also they're gorgeous bands too. But again, to top that, and by the way, this is a 6x52, and it's only available in the 6x52.
Well, and yeah, the band on here. I'll try to show it to my camera I'm on, but you have like you're like paying homage to the other, I guess, bands as well because the colors you just listed off are all on here.
I think that's what it is.
I think that's awesome.
I hope that's what it is because otherwise I just had a really good idea for it. But
this might be all the bands are beautiful, but I really like how detailed this one is.
Yeah,
and it also has like the gold and black, like.
He normally doesn't have the. He normally only has the skull on the box. I like how he has it on the band on this. Like that's like.
Yeah, I love
that's
this.
the logo of the thing.
And I love the art inside the box.
Really tremendous job, John. He's the only guy who listens, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I did get a message from the guy who corrected me with that whole wine thing.
Yes.
And he thanked me. He's like, "Oh, I appreciate you like listening and like making a correction."
Nice.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess people don't normally do that in like shows or podcasts or whether they make a mistake and somebody's like, actually, that's not true."
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard an exchange like that in with a podcast, and I guess people in comments. Someone commented on the podcast with Andy and I, and they said it was like pretty informative and whatnot. So it's nice that people are listening.
Man, it's great. People like Andy too. Everyone likes Andy. They don't comment on me.
They like him. I'm last on the totem pole here of people of who people like on the show.
Dude, you're the driving force. How many times have I not been able to do it this year?
Only like twice, I feel like.
Yeah, but you've been. I really like what you were doing. What you're doing with the influencers.
Yeah. I need to get back on that more, honestly.
Well, where the one guy, I don't want to mention his name, but you already had him on. We're going to start working with him.
Yeah, I feel like I remember this time last year I interviewed the cigar host. I really liked him. He seems to be doing really well.
Tell everyone about who you met at the CDM event.
Yes, yeah. So last week I shot an event for CDM, and it was Chaz Palminteri's. He was at the event. La Casa Grande cigars were selling. They made the Bronx Tail cigar in homage to him, the Cologio. So I got to meet him, and it was a really cool experience because earlier this year I got to also film another event for CDM with Guy Fieri. And both events were obviously extremely different. They're two different personalities. I think Chaz Palminteri is pushing 80.
Is he that old?
I thought someone said he was 72. I thought he was like 76, but that's the wonderful thing of the internet. Yeah. But I got to film the event there in Paramus, and he was a pretty cool guy. He was very quiet, and he I think he let everyone kind of.
He's 72.
72, all right. He let everyone kind of. My father-in-law came. He gave him a book. He took the book. Other people gave him some things. People were making some jokes about, Bronx Tale. Now you can't leave. He was liking it. I was able to film him separately, which was really cool. He's Never thought I would be able to say action to Chaz Palminteri, so that was pretty sweet. But yeah, it was a really nice event, really nice time. I haven't got a chance to smoke the cigars, but wine came with it,
You got a
and
bottle of wine?
I did signed.
You're gonna give me the bottle.
Signed by if you want it, yeah. Because Jess also got one.
You gotta pay tribute.
I'll give Jess's bottle to you.
Yeah. Give me Jess's bottle. I don't want your bottle. You earned that bottle.
Um,
But but didn't she like buy a ticket and go to the event?
she did, but it doesn't matter.
They wouldn't let her in.
Not even try. I didn't even
Why
try.
do you not try?
I don't know.
You work for our company.
I know, but I don't know. I should have
That's
tried.
like when I hear like Warren like, oh, that's when I bought a bunch of cigars. I'm like, what are you buying?
Yeah, I mean,
We got.
I can't remember the last time I bought cigars, honestly. Because I'm just so gracious. People are just so gracious and hand them out to you, and vendors.
Just because you're so gracious.
No. And then
I'm just so gracious. I just take cigars. I'm so humble.
But you have like Terrence come up or whatever and be like, "Here, try this." So here's this. So, but no, it was a really cool time. It was nice being around him. Bronx Tale is one of my favorite movies, or favorite movies in that genre. So it was cool to see that. And
Didn't De Niro direct that?
yes, yeah. So Chaz Palminteri wrote it and co-starred in it, and then De Niro directed it.
And Pesci had a little bit part in there too.
Yeah, and he started. What's his name? De Niro starred in it as well.
Yeah. It's a shame that the kid, the grown-up version of the kid, he went to jail. That was Bevilacqua from Sopranos.
Yep.
He went to jail for I think
Like
it was a
right after
manslaughter.
Sopranos, he
got involved in there was some a shooting that he
Yeah.
was kind of I don't think he did it, but he was an
no,
accomplice.
he was associated with it.
Yeah, what a shame.
But I've heard stories of people who've met him and say he's not like the nicest guy, but
Who, Chaz or that guy?
that guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, he went to jail for manslaughter.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying,
He's not very
afterwards,
gracious.
after he came out of jail, he was still kind of like, you know who I am, like these are
Yeah, a
people,
felon.
these are filmmakers in New Jersey, like trying to get him in their projects, like, and he would want like just ridiculous amount of money, like, you know who I am. It's like, yeah, man, you threw your career away.
Yeah, dude, you can't even go work at at a Chipotle right now.
You
dude.
were on
You're
Bronx
a
Tale,
felon.
and you were an intricate part of like season 2.
And he
of
was in
Sopranos.
he was in a really good Danny DeVito movie called Renaissance Man with Mark Wahlberg, where Danny DeVito goes to and teaches at a military school or at an army base. It's a really funny movie.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he a kid in it?
He was it was probably 1997,
Gotcha,
so he
yeah.
was Bronx Tale age.
Yeah.
Sopranos age, probably in his early 20s. I actually first know Chaz Palminteri because I didn't watch Bronx Tale when I was younger. I mean, maybe it was on HBO or something. But I remember him from Analyze This first.
Yes. yeah, dude.
As the bad guy.
Oh my god.
He was great.
He's so good in that. He was on Modern Family. He was Jay's friend on Modern Family. Who always dressed nice
they thought he was gay in one episode. Was he just dressed nice? He and he went ballroom dancing.
yeah. And he was so good.
He was on an episode of Are You Garbage?
Was he?
They classified him he got a super classy rating. They classified him as you are.
I gotta watch that.
You are pure class. They said.
I have to watch that.
There's only been a couple of guys who have gotten top tier class from them. I think it was him. Tom Segura got a big.
Really?
Yeah. And there's people who are just absolute trash.
I want to watch Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer's podcast with, I think Matthew McConaughey was on it. I know how we feel about Burt.
I wish Burt wasn't on that episode.
Yeah.
But they did. Did you see the clip of when they were looking at the trailer for Matthew McConaughey's movie, the old movie that he did?
Yeah.
With when Gary Oldman was a fake dwarf.
Oh my.
Or little person. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, dude, I wasn't saying it because of that.
No, but I don't actually know what is the terminology now because I don't want to.
I think it
is dwarf.
I think it is dwarf.
Yeah, because it's called dwarfism is the syndrome or not? It's not syndrome.
Where doesn't Matthew McConaughey fall in love with a girl and Gary Oldman is Gary Oldman's his brother.
Gary Oldman is his twin brother, but Gary Oldman and the rest of his family are dwarfs, and then Matthew McConaughey turned out not. I don't want to say regular, but not a dwarf, your standard fella.
Yeah.
and I think it's like Kate Beckinsale is.
Yes, she's in it.
What's his name is in Game of Thrones.
Sean Bean?
No,
not Sean Bean.
What's his name? Peter
Dinklage.
Yeah, is in it as like a French.
Yes, yeah.
And as Matthew McConaughey's like he's laughing. He's like, I've never seen this trailer. He's like, this trailer is way more serious than this movie was.
Yeah.
It got that movie got torn to shreds. Why Gary Oldman would do that movie?
It was in the 90s, right? Or 2000?
It was like 2000. It was like why? It wasn't that long. It wasn't like everyone in here was young. Like this is Gary Oldman. Like he's Gary Oldman.
I guess he was, for whatever reason, he felt the need to take that role.
Well,
he was a phenomenal in True Romance. Gary Oldman.
I want to say, besides this movie, Gary Oldman is one of the 2003 was the movie. But Gary Oldman has made very good choices. Like everyone knows, McConaughey had that like 10-year rom-com gap where it was just all garbage movies. But let's not forget, people forget that in the 90s, McConaughey was like very in demand. He was in Contact. He was in, was it not Amistad? The one with Samuel L. Jackson where he kills the guy in the South for like
A Time to Kill.
Time to Kill.
Dude,
he was like the lawyer in that. Like he was.
Imagine if she was white.
Yeah,
exactly. The way he said it,
he was like an acclaimed actor, and then they started throwing money at him to like go lose a guy in 10 days.
One of my favorites, Angels in the Outfield. He played.
He was young in Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
He was
phenomenal cast.
He was in this great horror movie. I can't think of the name of it. With man, I'm having a really bad time today with names.
I could tell you why.
Why?
We're filming after lunch.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. Give me a guy. He passed away recently. He was in Titanic. Bill Paxton. So it's Bill Paxton is a dad, and he has 2 boys. His wife has passed away. And he says that he's visited by an angel. And the angel gives him a list of like bad people. So the dad like turns into a serial killer and like has his 2 sons help him. And then the movie is told in the current time where Matthew McConaughey is one of the sons, and he's like reporting the whole story to the police because his brother is like a current serial killer now. It's
what is excellent. This movie. Sounds amazing.
Excellent, like very highly rated. Just like one of those things that didn't get like a ton of buzz at the time. Hold on, I want you to watch it like tonight if you can.
Man, those type of movies I love. Like to me that's such an original idea. Or like it's
great. I'm not gonna tell you there's a great ending to it. Where are you? Not Glory Days, not Long. It's Our Time to Kill. Larger than Life Content. I'm something. Frailty, and Bill Paxton directed it.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of the name.
Yeah,
I've heard of that name.
Watch Frailty. It's very, very good.
And he directed. Yeah, Bill Paxton
directed it. Yeah,
he's very underrated.
He was. I mean, dude, he was
very underrated.
I mean, he was in all of Cameron's stuff, just about every Cameron movie. I don't think was he in that. He had to have a bit part in one of the Avatars. I'm guessing, right?
The first one, maybe he was a voice, maybe. Because he was still alive.
He was in Aliens. He was in Titanic. He was in the first Terminator.
True Lies.
He was in True Lies. And then outside of Cameron, I mean, he was great in Twister.
Yeah. I liked him in that Club Dread movie just because.
Yeah.
I thought he was good in that.
There was also what was that other movie? He wasn't he in that show where he was a Mormon?
Mm-hmm.
Like Big Love or something. I think it was
Big
called
Love. Yep.
Like yeah, Bill Paxton, very, very underrated actor.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, McConaughey, tremendous.
And after the rom-coms, though, he
had the McConaissance.
The McConaissance where
it started with like I think actually Magic Mike was like the first one because he played like the
club owner, right?
Yeah, he played like a big part in that. Even though it's like I know it has like comedic elements, but he played like a serious. Like I think it was like an asshole. And then it was like True Detective, Lincoln Lawyer,
Dallas
Buyers Club. Like he just started pumping him out.
Yeah. And
I love him. He was on Joe Rogan a couple years ago too, and I got to listen to him. You know, he has a great outlook on life. Seems like a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't get involved in the politics stuff. Like kind of has what he believes in, but doesn't get too involved in it. He won the Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah. And then I don't know.
Interstellar. He was great in
Interstellar,
Interstellar.
yeah. And then, in between, I think Dallas Buyers Club and True Detective, he filmed that. Everyone says it's an iconic scene, but that scene in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah.
So that was like smack dab in the middle of that, where it's like, wow, he's in everything, he was important to Leo's character.
Dude, Leo's another one who, while I think he's like kind of like a weirdo in his personal life, just makes really good choices. I mean, I don't think there's anyone else who has worked with the three greatest modern directors, which are James Cameron, Martin Scorsese, and Quentin Tarantino. And he's worked with all three of them. A lot. On their biggest things. Or some of their biggest things.
Yeah.
And who directed The Revenant? Wasn't that was that
Alfonso Cuarón?
I think I was going to say Alfonso Cuarón. So he does work with the best guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
and he's done Scorsese and Tarantino. He's done multiple. He's done 2 Tarantinos, right? He's done
Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood, and he did
Django.
And then Scorsese, he's done how many? Gangs of New York, Wolf of Wall Street. He did
Killer of the Flower Moon.
That just came out.
Did you say The Departed?
The Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 right off. Yeah.
So he's
and De Niro's done what, 4 or 5 with him as well. Scorsese.
I think De Niro squeaked out a win over DiCaprio, in terms of the amount with The Irishman.
Yes.
Because then he did Taxi Driver.
Mm-hmm. Raging Bull.
Was he in Mean Streets? De Niro wasn't in Mean Streets.
Yes.
Was he in Mean Streets? So he was in Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Casino, Cape Fear.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Irishman. So he's got 7.
Killers of the Flower Moon, 8. So,
8.
yeah, that's...
Yeah.
That's
I will
insane.
say, though.
Kings of Comedy, was that Scorsese?
Kings of Comedy, yeah, he was in Kings of Comedy.
Because I think I saw something where they're both they're both in their 80s and they've done 10 films together in in their life.
So I actually watched The Irishman. I was on a Mafia kick recently. I watched The Irishman the other day.
In one sitting?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I know some people break it up because it's long.
I will say that movie is great. The writing is great. The story is great. The acting is very good. And the de-aging thing is good enough. If he had made it 10 years before, because in those early scenes when Pesci's helping him with his truck, I want to say De Niro is supposed to be 30 years old, and he looks. 80, now I get it. He's 80. I want to say at best he looked 55. He looked like he was 55 for that entire movie.
Yeah,
and he was supposed to go from 30 to 80. So it's it was just beyond the realm. But he also did that when I rewatched Goodfellas on Saturday. He did the same thing in Goodfellas, where in the beginning it's when I met Jimmy Conway, he couldn't have been 28 or 29, and in walks obviously 45-year-old Robert De Niro, and they just blackened his hair.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if that was at the time they were against using. At that, I guess if you're playing if you're Robert De Niro's an adult, his entire throughout the movie of Goodfellas, he's in his adulthood.
Yeah.
Right. Henry Hill is a kid, then becomes a little, then becomes an adult. I don't know why you just don't have another.
There was only one. Yeah, there's only one. Excuse me, 1 or 2 scenes where he has to be that younger guy. I'm you can find someone who looks like a younger Robert De Niro to do 1 or 2 scenes for you. But it's still excellent. Yeah. But the one scene in Irishman that really is not great is he's supposed to be 40 years old, maybe.
And
his daughter gets in trouble at the supermarket, and he goes down and beat up the supermarket guy, and he's curb stomping him and kicking him, but he can't raise his arms above his shoulders because he's old, so he's just doing that. Whereas if you see him in Goodfellas, he's flailing, he's doing the whole thing, but he couldn't move his arms, and I'm that's an old
the
guy.
Scene that everyone that turned it off for everyone, because it's you're clearly 80 years old trying to act 40 years younger. And
dude, there's good actors now that you could have gotten to play I know you wanted to keep it with your boys, but there's actors now you could have gotten to to kind of do this. Like at least for a couple of, at least until he's like supposed to be in his 50s.
Yeah, or do what you did in Benjamin Button, man. I think they basically like they use the technology to impose Brad Pitt's face on like younger bodies. You know, like when he was a teenager, when he came back towards the end of the movie, or like the older bodies. You know, why not do that? Like, is it going to look that fake? I don't know. Like you're using this. It looks
better than like seeing an old Robert De Niro beat up a guy.
Yeah, I felt like The Irishman was like one of the first movies I was like, hey, look at this de-aging. Like we're doing, and there's this new movie coming out with Tom Hanks.
It came out already, apparently.
It came out.
It wasn't great. Yeah, Robert Zemeckis did it.
Yeah, I don't know. From the trailer, it just looks like it's literally like one shot, like this entire movie, and it's just like overtime or whatever. I don't know.
I think it all takes place in like one house and like one room. Or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And then they're de-aging Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, and it's like, all right.
The thing is oddly, and I don't know why people are like aging differently now, but like you can do a movie with like that with like Leo or with Matthew McConaughey. You could do a little fugazi computer work and have Matthew McConaughey be like a 25-year-old or Leo be a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
But the guys who like the generation above us, like like my girlfriend is older than me, but like a couple of years, but she looks 10 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the generation before us, when they were that age, they just always looked their age. Now you see someone and like, oh my God, you're 50 or you're 40, like you don't look it at all. So like there are some actors that I think you could pull off, like doing a younger, like, you know, having them do that. But De Niro was tough because he also just looks. We know what De Niro looked like at 25. We've seen Godfather 2. We've seen Raging Bull.
Yeah.
We know what he looked like. So it's tough for you to like I know that this is not what he looked like when he was 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know? Like his face is longer, his like ears are longer, he's got a big, like I feel like his nose got bigger.
Yeah.
But
he got older. He just got
older, and that's all right. Now I will say in that movie, De Niro did good. Pacino killed it and Pesci killed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely crushers. Just crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
Dude, I would love to kind of see them in one more thing together, especially Harvey Keitel. Like, I think Harvey Keitel is very underrated, in my opinion.
He was great in Irishman too. He played Angelo Bruno.
Yeah, I think he's a really underrated actor. And that's another one who's worked with Tarantino, Scorsese. But I don't know. I don't know what it would be. I don't want to see. I enjoyed The Irishman. I don't want to see a version of that. Like if it's maybe older guys reminiscing about something, and then you have like younger guys who are like.
Well, I'm trying to think if Scorsese's ever done like an original story.
No.
Yeah. So it would have to be something about.
No, he's
older
always
guys.
Yeah,
he's always adapted like a book or like a real. Like a real tape, even Killers of the Flower Moon. It's all like, I guess the closest would be Gangs of New York. I don't know if it was actually based on a book, but those were like historical people. But I think he like wrote his own story about it. Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, maybe, or was Taxi Driver a book? Taxi Driver might have been.
Yeah, no. Paul Schrader wrote the movie, but it might have been a book. It might have been a book though.
Yeah.
Paul Schrader's crazy as shit, man.
What else did he write? I forget.
He wrote that movie with Ethan Hawke that came out a while ago. First Reform.
The
First Reform movie.
Oh, I don't know that. I thought you were the one where it's like a sunset, twilight, or sunrise.
He's done a few other things. He's a crazy human being. From
all right, you ready to tidy this one up?
Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about some movies.
Yeah, I squeezed it in there. Well, thank you all for watching. These should be on our website. Hopefully, by the time you see this, the Las Calaveras 10th anniversary. If not, they should be up the following weekend, or they shipped out already. Obviously, John was nice enough to send me a box, but this is a truly exceptional cigar. So make sure you check it out. I think you would be doing yourself an injustice not to smoke this. But thank you everyone for watching and listening. Thank you for a great team here, always setting everything up. Oh, look, Steve's over there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, keep it lit.